and thank you for joining me. This is Laurie of Laurie's Heirloom Sewing. So this morning I was going to work on this right here, View F, which is the scissors case to the Simplicity 8532. Believe it or not, I opened up the envelope and I cannot find the piece that I need for that. Piece number 12 has just vanished. So I kind of changed gears and I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just do this. Well, you have to have a metal crochet hook as one of the notions. That's the piece that holds this little doll, as they're calling it, onto the pincushion. So I saw my old metal crochet hook tripping all over it 2-3 days ago. Now I can't find it. So I thought, I have this ancient old sewing box, and I thought, well, maybe I have an old crochet hook or an old knitting needle, and it kind of has to be small. You wouldn't want to use, you know, one of your great big large size crochet hooks. So I finally got it up off the floor. It was way back underneath my table over here. Got it up off the floor and I started going through it. My goodness. So after I get these pieces packed up, but I have to show you what I found in my ancient old sewing box. It is, I can't even remember how old it is. I've had it probably 40 years. It's like Pandora's box. If you open it, things just want to leap out at you. There is a rogue pattern piece, piece number 7, to a McCall's pattern 5584. Apparently it's like a bow. You would cut this on a, the grain line is at an angle, but not a true bias. So there's a bag with something in it that looks like garbage. Literally, it's just, I must have been afraid to throw it away for some reason, but it's going in the garbage now. And I'll utilize this for something else somewhere down the line. Okay, so here we have my serger catch bag that I'm really sad to report that I found something I've been looking for since we moved. I will admit that when we were moving from the house that we had lived in for 20 years into this house, I just kind of was throwing stuff from my sewing room into anything. So this is not the typical condition of this box, but I haven't opened it since we moved, so that's why it's just shocking. So in this, that was inexplicably thrown into my ancient sewing box, I found something I've been looking for, really looking for. My bias tape makers. All 4 of them. Weirdly, I have all 4 in a baggie, and they were just in here, just thrown in here. So they're going to stay in my sewing table now. I think I have some cabbage. Yeah, definitely some cabbage. I don't know what this was for. Some garbage. Okay, so two things have happened. I had lunch, I guess 3 things. It's, let's see, it's 11:47 on Tuesday, August the 25th. So, I took lunch with my husband, who works from home now. Then I came back in the house and I remembered where this was. So, it appears that we have options, because now that I have this, I can make this. But I'm going to put this on hold for just a moment, because as interesting as this Pandora's box of weird and wonderful sewing notions is, this arrived, and I know what this is, and if it is what I believe it is, then I have another option for sewing today. I don't think I can finish, because unless the other, well, we'll just open this. We'll just open this. Paper cutting, plastic cutting scissors. Okay. This will be interesting because I haven't ordered. Ooh, I like it. I haven't ordered this brand in quite some time. Okay, it's called Cotton Blenders Leaf. I just think it would be so cute as a pair of capris. So that is why I ordered it. It's another project for my sister, and I'm going to put, oh, it has a lovely hand. I'm going to put a floral print at the cuff. So I'm going to make a little cuff at the bottom of each leg. The pattern I'm using does not have pockets, and I'm going to try to see if I can insert a slash pocket on each side. I think I can, because I mean, I know how to make a pocket and I know how to insert a pocket. It's just this particular pattern, which, as you know, I've been using over and over again to sew shorts from, doesn't have pockets, and I'll have to look at the hip area to see if this would be a good candidate for that. If not, I'll just do pockets on the back like I've been doing, because that pattern is the shorts, pieces 13 and 14, and then I'm just going to add the legs and create a pair of capri sized legs that I'm probably going to taper them. There's nothing more uncomfortable than a floppy pair of capris, you know, flopping around your calves. So that's next, but just look at how pretty this is. And it is 100% cotton, and I think it was Santee, S-A-N-T-E-E. I'll link it below this video in the description box. So what I found prior to showing you all of this stuff is a fabric eraser. It's wonderful, but it's dirty, so I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to clean up and work right. It was part of my heirloom sewing kit. Well, so I'm hanging on to this. Maybe I'll put it in this box, keep it from getting dirty. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. Then I found a bobbin. And this is what I was talking about in my video yesterday. You could just be grabbing random bobbins to sew with, and you don't know what the fiber is. Is it 100% cotton? You know, sometimes you can tell just by touch. This I can tell is a DMC 50 weight, 100% cotton thread. This, no, I don't know what this is. It almost feels mercerized, but that doesn't mean that it is. Oh, I can kind of tell that it is though. So it's a mercerized cotton. Okay. All right, so I have filled up my little box right here. And then I have a tube that was part of the Bernina. I'll just put that in there. And then I have one more that I found. So I'm pretty well bobbined up. My box is full. I have one in my sewing machine and my little extra traveling tube is full. And then I found my thimble. Yes, yes, that is exciting. I'll probably keep it in this box. I don't want to lose it again. So I've got my fabric eraser and my thimble in a box. Okay. I also found a whole unopened package of underwear and pajama elastic. It's 1 inch by 1 1/4 yards. That is a good find. I don't know how long it's been in there, but it's not open, so I'm sure it's fine. I doubt that it is, you know, just that it's aged out. I seriously doubt it, so I'm keeping that. And then my favorite find outside of this is this. Microtex sharp needles. They are, there's 3 of them in there. This is universal full. They always fall off those little cards that Schmitz puts them on. Okay, this is a double needle or a twin needle. Okay, here are some more universal 130/70 or yeah 130/705H. It looks like the 7010, 7010 are still in the box. And this is a drilling or a triple needle, which is a 3.80. Very nice needle to have. Here we have Microtex sharp needle 1, 7010. Here's a stretch. So this is a ballpoint. You'd sew with, you know, like a knit fabric. Very nice to have. And here is a wing, 120/19. I don't think I had a 120/19. This that would be fun to sew with. Okay, so they're all going to go in my needle box. So they'll just all go in here. That was definitely worth looking through that box because wow, just the needles alone. Let's say we're going to go, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's, so let's just say we're going to go, you know, there were 8 of them. Okay, the wing needle was probably a little bit more, but if we just go 5 times 8, so if we go $5 times 8 needles, we got 40 bucks right there that I just found. Not to mention the cost of this. And of course these little things. So if you have this pattern and you want to follow along, the notions for the pincushion are you're going to need 1 3/4 inch button, 2 ounces of polyester fiber fill, and 1 skein of embroidery floss. I imagine the reason you need a full skein is that you're going to be using all 6 strands. So if you have something comparable, even yarn, you know, that equals the same amount of thickness of 6 strands of embroidery floss that you can thread a needle onto, then don't feel like you can't do this project because you don't have embroidery floss. It should work out just fine if you've got yarn or something similar. You're going to need one 7-inch metal crochet hook or a double-ended knitting needle. This actually is only 5 inches, but I'm gonna just have to do the best I can and try to use it. I may end up using like a chopstick. I don't know why a chopstick wouldn't work. I have 100 chopsticks in this house. They are sturdy, they are strong, and they should work. So I probably don't need to use this. Okay, so, and neither would you. If you have a chopstick in your house or just a small dowel, you could probably use a dowel. Okay, and then you're going to need 3 ounces of polyester fiberfill, 1 skein of embroidery floss, a hot glue gun, hot glue sticks, 3/8 of a yard of 3/8 inch wide grosgrain ribbon, and 1 small artificial flower or rosette. Or you could just sew a button, and it's just the decorative. They're talking about this right here on the little dress. You could, there's 100 things you could do. You could do some embroidery. So don't feel like you're stymied because you can't do this, because you certainly can. And then take a look at this. So remember, as I was saying, this is the pincushion, which is this piece right here. And then the rosette has the lower rosette and then the upper rosette, which is that little floofy ruffle thingy right there. Okay, so we're supposed to stitch pincushion sections together, leave an opening for turning, and clip the curves. And then we're going to turn the cushion right side out and stuff it firmly, keeping it flat as shown, kind of like a macaron, and then ladder stitch this opening closed. I don't think I would use a sewing machine to stitch it because it will kind of pinch that edge, and we do want it to be fluffy, because I adore this fabric. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to buy Stitch and Sparkle fabric again, because, oh, I'm going to have to iron it, because of the shipping issue, but I enjoyed it while I had it. So we have the doll body cut out. We had to have two, so we've got two of those. The actual pincushion had to have two of those, so that's been done. And then the upper rosette, you cut one of those, done. The lower rosette, you cut one, that's done. And then the skirt for the little pincushion doll, cut one, which we've done. So the next steps are to stitch this together, leave an opening, turn, and then stuff that with the polyfill. And I think, oh goodness, if I could just figure this out. Oh, here we go. Okay. And then we are going to, it says thread a needle with the 6 strands of embroidery floss, insert the needle through the bottom at the small dot. So you'll see there is a dot right in the center of this pincushion. So we're going to go up and out and up and out to make the design that most of us are familiar with a pincushion. So there's that. So it says to wrap embroidery floss around the outer edge of the cushion and bring the needle through the cushion at the small dot again, and continue wrapping the thread around the cushion in the same manner until it has been divided into 6 sections. And then fasten the thread end securely on the very bottom of the cushion. And then we're going to hand gather a 1/4 inch from the outer edge of the pincushion upper rosette. And we're going to use a small running stitch to do that, and then we're going to pull those together. Oh, it's a yo-yo. So we're making 2 yo-yos, okay. So rosette, yo-yo, tomato, tomato, okay. All right, I get it now. So we need to make a small and a medium-sized rosette or a yo-yo. And then I had to sneeze. We're going to do the same thing, but to attach that, you pull up the gathering stitches tightly. You bring the gathered edges to the center of the rosette and you hand sew in place, which we've done, we know. And then we're going to fasten the thread in securely. Then pin upper rosette to the top of the pincushion, matching the small dots, and then sew a button to the center of the rosette, stitching through all thicknesses. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing for the lower rosette that we did for the upper rosette. And we're going to pin the upper and the lower rosettes to the top of the pincushion, matching those small dots. And so there you can see, they're making a yo-yo. They're showing you what it's supposed to look like on the top. And then this is how we will be finishing that off. Okay? So we have to get that done first. All of that is a lot of hand sewing, but you know, hey, it's fine. Then the doll body. So we're going to stitch the doll body sections together, and we need to leave an opening for turning. Trim up those corners, clip those curves, and then turn the body to the right side out, stuff it, and then ladder stitch the opening closed. When we have completed that, we're going to press up a hem on the lower edge of the skirt. We're going to form that lower hem, or that narrow hem, by tucking under the raw edge to meet that crease that we just made. We're going to press it, we're going to stitch the hem in place, and then we're going to hand gather the upper edge of the skirt, pull the gathers up to measure 5.5 inches, and then fasten those thread ends. Then we're going to stitch the center back seam of the skirt below the notch. So on this pattern piece, there's a notch right here and a notch right here. This is the top. So when we're stitching this together, this would be the back. We're going to stitch from the bottom up to the notch and then leave that open. Okay, matching this. back stitch to reinforce the seam, and then on the outside we're going to stitch a ribbon over the gathered edge of the skirt, kind of like a little waistband. And then we're going to slip the skirt onto the doll body, matching up those small dots. So the doll body and the skirt all should match in the back. We're going to turn under and lap center back edges of the skirt and slip stitch the ends in place. Glue a flower or a rosette to the skirt as shown on the front of the envelope. Insert a knitting needle or a crochet hook or a chopstick through the lower end of the doll body and glue it in place. Insert remaining end of knitting needle or crochet hook through the center of the rosettes and pincushion, and then we need to glue that in place. So there will be an opening for us to put our either our chopstick or our whatever we're using to stick the doll into. So pretty much it is step 13 is insert the whatever it is that you're using into the doll, and then insert that into the pincushion. Okay. Now I'm going to put these two pieces right sides together. Okay. And I'm going to leave an opening, probably about like that. Those two X's are marking where I won't stitch. Right. Alright, I'm going to use the end of this crochet hook, and you just kind of push on that seam on the inside. There's that flat spot right there. So I'm going to just push gently, of course, and just like that, you have a circle. I will press this, of course, so I shall return. Okay, so basically I'm not going to press the opening closed until I get this. Obviously I'm not going to stitch the opening. I'm not going to stitch the opening closed until I get this full of our polyfill. I'm just going to tie this. That one little thread has been bugging me. Okay, so now, we will take this needle right here. This one has a very large eye. It's kind of a short needle and very thick. And we're going to load up 6 strands of embroidery floss. The needle through all the way. You don't want to lose that needle in there. So go straight through and on the dot, and then come up through the dot there and grab, grab that needle right as you're coming through, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap once and go through the center again. And back up through that same center dot. And it will be sort of a, a button that's sort of offset. It'll be down inside right here. Okay, I think it's fine. It will be down in the center like that. And it's just going to hold the threads together right through that middle. And then if you want to, you could probably put one on the opposite side as well. So there's that. I might use a little bit bigger button for the bottom part. Cute one. I think I'll use this one. Alrighty. So I'm going to go up through the center and find a buttonhole to come up through in the green button, like that. And then I'm going to go down through the green button and up through the red button on the bottom. And I'm going to do that one more time. But I'm not going to go through the buttonhole on the red button this time. I'm going to come up on the side like this, right beside it. Now I can tie, put that there, and I can just tie some knots. I'll split this threes, 3 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can get this knot to go underneath the button. Oh yeah. There we go, and then just clip these threads. Don't cut the fabric. Okay. So there we are. He's a little lopsided. Not quite. Oh, it looks fine on this side. Weird. Okay. So there's the pincushion, ready to go. Next, after doing that, we sew up. Oh, no. We don't sew the doll body yet. We have to do the rosettes. Okay, so we have our 2 rosette slash yo-yos completed, and I believe that this is the way that they will be attached we will need to figure out, they don't describe how to get the the pole that our little doll will be suspended on. They don't describe how to do that other than to use hot glue. We're going to concentrate on piece number 9, where we are to stitch this together and leave the bottom open. So we put them right sides together and then stitch all the way around, but leave this area here open. Okay, so I'm going to start, let me get this little body part folded up, piece number 9. Okay, bring my sewing machine forward. And make a mark. Okay, like that. I think I'm going to drop my stitch length down just a little bit. Okay, so we need to clip these inside curves and just kind of clip a little on the outside, and we're going to see what it looks like. Remember to keep your scissors kind of parallel, don't slant them. It's a great temptation sometimes, but it's best to keep them straight as you go around. Okay. And then right where the neck begins to hit the shoulder area, that, and then maybe these arms, I would trim those little corners off. Yeah. Just, you know, clip, do what you think you might normally do if you were sewing something else. You want it to turn out pretty, so there's going to be a bunch of little pieces. Got one high shoulder, one low shoulder. She's shrugging. There we go. Okay. So the next thing we do is put this polyfill in here. All right. I think we'll do that. And again, I'm going to just bury the knot in the seam on the inside, like so. Okay. So in my best guess here, we're going to have to be able to get a chopstick through these stitches, so I kind of left a little bit of a gap right in this area. We'll see. I sure would hate to have to take the stitches out, I know that much. Alright, so now she has been stitched. So the next step is to fold under a hem, oops, and then we're going to press that. Okay, it states to hand gather. I'm not going to. I don't have to. Okay, currently at 6. And just remember, if you pull on the thread side, you will lock your stitches. So you do need to make sure you're pulling from the bobbin side. Just try to keep that right along that gathered edge. Notches right here. And then whatever little thread things. And the instructions are to just overlap and then fold this under and stitch it. Get myself one of those little flowers over there. I think I'll attach it right there, which is where they show theirs. And then I'm going to have to break a chopstick to 7 inch. Okay, I will be right back. All right, so I'm back with a flower and a glue stick. God, I hate glue sticks. Okay. And I used some kind of wicked looking little teeny tiny almost like a wire saw blade and then a rasp. And I figured, I know that's not pretty. It's kind of ragged, but it's not going to be seen, so I don't need to worry. So my plan is to just glue these. I don't know the purpose behind stitching them, and I am concerned that I won't be able to, you know, get this down, because this is basically the instruction right here, is to just glue this to actually a metal thing. You're supposed to glue a metal thing. So I'm going to glue here. So I put a big blob of glue there. And I'm going to use this stick to smish it down and hold it. I mean, I like the way that looks. It's cute. It's absolutely adorable. And I'll probably do this again, but the instructions are not very, it's not that they're not clear, it's just that they don't explain really what they mean. Like there's a lot of missing information. Okay. So I'm going to use the wide end in this area and then this end to put into the mannequin. I'm going to use quite a lot of glue. All right. She's not very sturdy because the, you know, this is glued, but how cute is that? So I'm just going to let her be a decorative piece, and if you guys have made this item from Simplicity 8532, it's View D, let me know if you, maybe it has to be metal and maybe you really do just have to push it without maybe using a button in the pincushion part. Honestly, I just don't know. And I don't think that sewing the rosettes to the pincushion would offer any help at all in the, you know, in this issue that I'm having. I mean, so thank you guys for watching with me. I appreciate every one of you. I'll look for your comments regarding View D on Simplicity 8532. Rambling on, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys so much. If there is anything you want to see me sew or create, don't forget that I do baking, painting, sewing, and gardening. So if there's something in here and all of that that you want to see, let me know. Drop a comment below. You can find me at Laurie's Heirloom Sewing page on Facebook. You can also find me at 3 Acre Lake on Facebook. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you again.